welcome back to my subscribers, and hello to anybody new who hasn't been to my channel before. I hope you enjoy this plan with me, and please don't forget to like and subscribe if you get a chance. So I've gone straight into the laying down of the spread. Normally I take you through the all of the stickers for the kit, but unfortunately I seem to have jumped straight into it. I'm not sure if I had the footage and I've lost it or quite what I've done, but nevertheless I've jumped into the laying down. So I'm using a really beautiful kit here that of course is all my favourites, lovely pinks with a touch of gold, and as you can see on the top of that kit, it is from Sweet Bella XOXO. So I'm going through laying down the bottom washi. I've also done a washi banner up the top with mainly Simply Gilded. Actually, it's a little bit of a mixture, but there is a bit of Simply Gilded in there, a couple of Hobby Hoppers and the Pretty Pink Co. And I've just popped that banner up the top, and I'm laying down the date covers as I speak and just trying to get the base of the spread down. So once this is finished, I'll take you through the day-to-day. So starting on the spread now, I am using some deco from the kit, rather the little circles and some of the layering pieces, and I'm marking on there that I've had this day off. So the 25th of January was the day between the weekend and an Australia Day, and I was fortunate enough to be able to take an annual leave day, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's always nice to have a Monday that you don't have to get up and face anything, and on this particular day I've used a divider after the day off, which is a Sharina Jane, and sadly she is closed, or rather her sticker shop is closed. She still does do some washies, but I do miss her stickers as well. And then I've used a lovely little divider there, and I've gone down to the Sleep In sticker with a little bit of the floral deco from the kit. I did say earlier that I was using gold in this kit, but in actual fact I'm using rose gold. The rose gold looks absolutely beautiful and brings out all of the pretty different shades of pinks and whites in this with the little splash of green. I think this is probably, it is only my second spread for the new year, but it is absolutely my favourite at the moment. So the little sleep-in pillow came from Sweet Bella XOXO, and as I said, I've used some of the deco from the kit underneath that. And then I've moved down in Monday, and I've added on there that I've had a Coffee Monday. That Coffee Monday was from Arctic Paper Studios, and I've placed the coffee cup on one of the little arrows from the kit with a little gold bow in it. So underneath that I've used a flag from the kit and a little bit of deco from Hello Petite paper with the book and the coffee, just to mark that I had completed all my 2020 spreads. So I didn't finish videoing all of those, and I'm more than happy to go back and do a bit of a flip through those 2020 ones that I didn't finish. There are some pretty ones amongst them for sure. So moving up to the top here on Tuesday, I've marked that it was a public holiday, so that's the Australia Day public holiday. Again, using a little circle from the kit, and the public holiday script is from Arctic Paper Studios. I had actually run out of my Australia Day one, so I do need to order some more. I've gone further down the bottom of Tuesday and just popped on there the office, which is from GP Studios, and I'm very happy to say that that they are reopening, which I'm sure a lot of people are very happy about because some of their stickers are just delightful. And I noted on the bottom there that I had done a bit of an Excel spreadsheet on all of the kits that I wanted to use for the whole year, and that's the first time I've actually ever done that, and it does feel really nice to be quite well organised as I go into the new year. And so far it seems to be working out okay, and I'm using everything that I've listed down, but there's always the opportunity to change things up. It's not exactly set in blood. And then across the top of the little office furniture there, I've noted a Harriet Wright Designs divider, like the one I similarly used, and another GP Sticker Studio changing of the sheets, and a little flag beside that. And that was my day off. It was a pretty leisurely day and a very enjoyable day. So moving across onto Wednesday, I've returned from a couple of days of leave, which is lovely, but you always come back to mountains of emails. So, and I did have some reports to do on this day, heading towards the end of the month. So I've just taken a quarter box from the kit. I've used my script for the reports, and I've used a Craft by Towie pile of books there just to mark the reports for the day. I've used a coffee script, which is also one of mine, and that lovely coffee cup sticker, and I'm just going to go and find it. I can't recall where that one's come from, but I will certainly mark it on here so that you know before the end of the video. Then moving down to the bottom of Wednesday, I just noted, added in a half box from the kit that we had a staff meeting, and I've used the utensils from, they're from Planning World, those utensils, and we got some Subway before our meeting on this evening, and made some plans going forward to the new year. It's going to be a very busy year with COVAX and various things happening, so it was good for the staff to catch up and work out where we're going to be heading. So again, using a little bit of the deco from the kit and the flag, I've also used a little printer there from Oscar and Lou, and that's also a little script of mine with print and cut on it. So before the meeting started that evening, in between coming home from work, I did manage to get a couple of things printed up and cut up for that afternoon to go forward. Mainly little extra things and a little bit of printing that I need to do that I've got to go ahead and foil. So that's the first half of the week complete. So moving across to Thursday, I've gone to the top of the full box, and I've used a little bit of washi from the kit and added on there that I had a meeting. So the script is my own, and the cute little laptop with the flowers, which is one of my favourites, is from Live, Love and Craft. It normally has work on it, but I did cut the work off it and just used it as a meeting. Then I've popped back up to the top of Thursday, used one of the circles from the kit and my favourite Mum and Me work stickers, and I'm popping underneath there that on a full box that this day I needed to complete our expression of interest for the COVAX vaccine that was going to be delivered, and that has gone underneath the work sticker there. And then underneath that I've trimmed off the edge of this little piece of deco and the floral, which always looks a little bit tidier. Sometimes I leave it on. It just depends on how busy things are looking and whether or not it suits and doesn't crowd the page. Then using some very pretty Simply Gilded washi with a lovely floral on it and a pretty rose gold bow, I've just popped a little bit of washi there to take up some space and to add a little bit of interest for what I'm doing next, which is adding that I received some happy mail on this day, and it was my sub box from Simply Gilded. They are a little bit behind because we've had such a lot of slow mail, although in fairness, with the deliveries that I do get, I'm very impressed with how quickly things are coming out of the States. Often I'll get something from America before I actually get something from Australia, which is really interesting when you consider the size and population differences. So I've used a Happy Mail sticker from Mum and Me, and I've used a little envelope with some stickers inside it from Tender Designs, another Australian sticker maker, which is nice. So now moving across onto Friday, my favourite day of the week. It has been a quiet week for me because I've only had 3 days at work with 2 days off, which was rather lovely. But this was going to be a fairly big day because we were driving back to our hometown as a friend of ours who's been very unwell was continuing to deteriorate. We knew he wasn't well, but he had been given a time frame, and unfortunately it looked like the lesser of the time frames was going to be the case here. So we decided that my husband and I decided we needed to make a trip home to see him, and potentially that would be the last trip that we would be making to see him, and to say our goodbyes. So on this particular day, I've marked it with a little car, and that little car is from, that car's from Barney and Moon. So I'm just popping through here because I did need to grab out a couple of stickers that I had forgotten to grab before I set up my spread. I usually do a bit of a pre-plan and get things ready beforehand, but you know, it doesn't always work, or you might think of something extra that you need to add in, and so that's what I've done here. So I've trimmed the end of the coffee and added another full box, or rather half box, down the bottom of Friday, and that was just to mark that. So Wagga's about 5 hours away from Melbourne, and we were driving, or I actually drove for this trip, excuse me, and it was torrential rain. It was just literally coming down in sheets for probably 90% of the trip, and only just eased up as before, about 20 minutes before we arrived in Wagga. So it was a pretty hectic and long drive. We just went steadily, and fortunately we arrived safely, but it's probably one of the worst trips that we've ever had home to Wagga in that terrible rain. So on Saturday morning, we'd got to our motels on the Friday, or our motel on the Friday night, and I have to admit I was pretty exhausted. So we had a bit of a sleep in on the Saturday morning, and I've marked that with a lovely little pillow from Sweet Bella XOXO, and I've put that on a piece of washi from the kit and added a little bit of the floral deco underneath there. Taking an arrow also from the kit, I just marked on there that we did visit a family member of David's, a lady that we're very, very fond of, and we said hi to Denise before we were heading out to where Chris was spending his palliative care time, and that was in the afternoon. We didn't stay for a really long time, but it wasn't about the amount of time, but more about the quality of time, and he was in really good spirits, which made us all feel very well. We met with another couple, and we got to have a good visit with him. Lots of reminiscing and talking about the days when my husband and he and his brother and their friends were all a group of teenagers, and of course now that they're at the other end of life and their grandparents, there was quite a bit of reminiscing to do, and it was although it was very sad because we knew that we were not going to be seeing him again, it was actually a really lovely afternoon, really pleasant, and he was in surprisingly good spirits. So it was a very quick trip. We stayed that day, and then we headed home the next morning back to Melbourne. Fortunately, the rain had eased up, and it was a much better trip home. Still, it is a long time. 5 hours in the car is substantial. And it was just such a strange feeling leaving somewhere when you know you're not going to be seeing that person again. It's really hard to explain how that feels, but strange is the only way I could think to mark it down in my diary. So I used a full box to do that, and a lovely little corner there, which is one of my favourites from Planning World. And then using an arrow, a couple of arrows from the kit, had a little bit of a play here. Didn't quite like the way that was going, so I've taken it up and moved it around. and then used a Harriet Wright Designs divider and just marked underneath there that we arrived home safe and sound, as most of the day was spent travelling. But it was an uneventful trip, which is good. That's the way you want it, and getting home safe is always a bonus. So that's the last entry for this week's Plan With Me. It was an unusual week with a public holiday and then an emergency trip home to Wagga. So I'm just going through some of the pieces that are left over, but as you can see, I've used a good majority of them. I have to say that the Sweet Bella kits just seem to suit my my planning style. They seem to have the right number of things, and I really enjoyed using this kit. It was just a pleasure to work with. So just trying to capture a little bit of the light on the pretty foils. That little lace trim above the box there, I think I forgot to mention that one's from Honey Inked. And so it was an eventful week. It started off very quiet, but was a little bit more hectic towards the end. And I'm just going to finish off catching the light. Thank you very much for joining me. As I mentioned earlier, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next memory plan. Goodbye.